These are the roaring 50s, and the waves here know no equal. This is the Drake Passage.
In the Drake Passage, the swells are relentless. Every wave grows taller, an endless stretch of turbulent water driven by the storm, the Bayless. The Southern Ocean is a place of raw power, and the notorious Drake Passage rarely disappoints. Challenging all. Beyond the shelter of the Horn lies the open expanse of the Drake, a passage famed for its turbulent seas and isolating fog. Here, there is no shelter, no safe harbor, only the dark sea and the relentless fury of the wind and waves. The swell builds relentlessly, a living machine of water and wind, culminating in the chaotic fury of the Drake Passage. The ocean corridor between Cape Horn and Antarctica is enormous and exposed, with waves moving in several directions beneath the heavy clouds. The sea becomes a doorway into the deeper story of Cape Horn. Ahead lies the violent Drake Passage, ruled by southern winds and hidden currents. The tiny research vessel provides a stark reminder of humanity's place in this immense wilderness. The Drake Passage, leaving the faint shadow of Cape Horn behind, we enter the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, where the ocean swells dominate everything. The gray waves roll endlessly here, propelled by the fierce winds of the deep south, a raw and untamed wilderness of water. From this height, the ocean reveals itself as a moving corridor, vast to human eyes, yet narrow when measured by the planet's forces. Beneath the gathering storm clouds, the ocean stirs, a vast engine waking, its power unleashed by the relentless wind. Here, in the infamous Drake Passage, the true force of the Southern Ocean is unleashed as massive swells rise and collapse with unimaginable power. The powerful swell dissipates into churning foam, only to be met by a fierce gust, scattering the spray across the relentless currents. Away from the sight of land, the waves themselves form a continuous chain, pulling us deeper into the profound blue-black heart of the ocean. As the camera glides forward, a low cloud bank rolls over the sea. The waves below move in long, parallel ridges. Below the surface turbulence of the Drake Passage lies an immense force, a hidden current, powerful and unrelenting, shaping the ocean depths. The Drake Passage. Its turbulent waves hint at a power far greater than the surface reveals. The chaotic surface yields to a powerful system. Long, dark ridges begin to form, revealing the hidden forces below the Drake Passage. From this height, the true scale of the Southern Ocean reveals itself, a relentless, rhythmic breathing machine powered by global winds. This is the Drake Passage, a violent gateway where two great oceans converge in a freezing chaos. The westerly winds assert their dominance, tearing at the surface of the frigid sea. The ocean responds with a raw, untamed power. An invisible force pulls at the water, stretching the sea itself across the infamous Drake Passage. Below the rolling waves, hidden currents exert their force, shaping the violence seen on the surface and pulling the ocean into its depths. Here, in the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, the sheer scale of the Southern Ocean becomes overwhelmingly clear. This is the Drake Passage, a volatile stretch of water where the visible storm gives way to the unseen forces below. Below the mist lies the true heart of the Southern Ocean, a vast and dangerous realm where wind meets current in an eternal struggle. Beneath these waves lies a pressure few vessels can withstand. This is the Southern Ocean, and it demands respect. This is the Drake Passage, where the Atlantic and Pacific converge, creating towering waves and chaotic currents far below the surface. The sea no longer looks random. Every ridge and trough is connected to the wind, distance, and invisible currents flowing through the Drake Passage. Beneath the violent surface, a deeper engine moves, folding the dark water into itself. A powerful gust tears across the surface, transforming the ocean into streaks of silver-white motion. But this is the Drake Passage, where the sea itself rises like a dark wall, unleashing the raw energy stored within its depths as it breaks into foam. As the chaos of the impact subsides, the true scale of the Antarctic waters is revealed, stretching endlessly towards the ice. Here, where the continents end and the true ocean begins, the Drake Passage guards the gateway to the deep unknown. The Drake Passage holds secrets beneath its turbulent waves. Deep below the surface, a massive current flows. As we journey deeper into the Drake Passage, The true force of the wind and the hidden currents beneath the waves begins to reveal itself. The Drake Passage. A violent, restless sea where two oceans collide before the final approach to the ice. The Drake Passage. A place where every second changes the shape of the world. Descending into the trough reveals the true scale of the Southern Ocean's power, a chaotic gateway into forces unseen. The Drake Passage is endless and exposed. There is no island, no harbor, and no peaceful coastline to soften the ocean's violence. In the infamous Drake Passage, the wind is the undisputed master. It rips across the water, tearing spray from the waves and drudged. The Southern Ocean holds the memory of distant storms. These waves, growing heavier now, carry that immense.
The unforgiving swells of the Drake Passage offer no mercy. Here, swallowed by the immense power of the Southern.
And so the ship vanished beneath the swell. The ocean, timeless and untamed, simply closed over the space. This is the Drake Passage, a visual threshold between the world we know and the mysteries that lie beneath the ice. Legend. Behind the mist lies Cape Horn, the final sentinel of the land. Now, the violent expanse of the Drake. The Southern Ocean tolerates no weakness. Here, the waves are the true masters, and the land merely a fragile witness to their power. Here, at the edge of Cape Horn, the Southern Ocean unleashes its full fury against the Black Rock, a violent prelude to the infamous Drake Passage. For countless millennia, the cliffs of Cape Horn have endured the ocean's endless assault, a testament to the raw, untamed power of the sea. This coastline offers no refuge. It is the final stone edge before the exposed, endless ocean swallows the horizon.
As the cliffs of Cape Horn recede, the true scale of the Drake Passage begins to emerge.
As the shelter of Cape Horn recedes, the true nature of the Southern Ocean reveals itself. Here, the swells run unimpeded toward Antarctica. Beyond the cliffs of Cape Horn, the ocean asserts its dominance. The small vessel is dwarfed by the immense.
As the cliffs of Cape Horn vanished into the churning wake, the vessel pushed into a sea that grew darker, wider, and less forgiving with every passing moment.
Here, in the unforgiving Drake Passage, the ocean demonstrates its power, quickly erasing the fleeting presence of the ship's passage. We leave the shelter of Cape Horn now, entering the infamous Drake Passage. Ahead lies the raw power of the Southern Ocean, Cape Horn, the very edge of the world's navigable waters. Beyond this churning chaos lies the frozen expanse of Antarctica, and the coastline stands as a warning. Every wave impact reminds us that even the land itself is shaped by the ocean's relentless force. The coastline ends here, swallowed by the mist. Southward, the ocean stretches like an open gate into unimaginable violence. This is Cape Horn, the gateway to the vast, untamed waters of the Drake Passage. As the swell travels outward, Cape Horn recedes into the mist, and the immense power of the open ocean takes control of the narrative. Here, between the continents, the wind blows unimpeded, driving the largest waves on Earth across the notorious passage. The wave crests move in long, organized rows, driven by an unseen force. What feels wide to us is...
As the final coastline disappears, the sea becomes a complete world. A realm with no shelter, no return.
The last sight of land recedes into the mist, and the sea becomes more than water. It is a boundary, both physical. As the waves subsided, Cape Horn vanished. We were now truly exposed to the raw power of the Drake Passage. Now, with no continent or island left to break the force of the wind, the sea grows rougher. The waves rise unchecked across the open ocean. Here, in the Drake Passage, the sea is an exposed arena. Wind, water, and distance combine into a larger, relentless force. We push farther now from Cape Horn, drawn closer to the violent heart of the Drake Passage. Here, here, at the edge of the world, the Southern Ocean shows its true power. The small research vessel is merely a toy in the hands of the Drake Passage. The sea cares little for the machines of man. It rolls on, indifferent to our passage, reminding us that this crossing belongs to the water. The sea erases scale, direction, and certainty. The vessel is but a fleeting moment in the ocean's eternal power. As the land disappears, the sheer emptiness of the Drake Passage becomes apparent. Nothing but water, wind, and the humbling scale of the open ocean. Below the waves, the water turns to an impenetrable black. Here, in the heart of the passage, the horizon vanishes completely. The true scale of this desolate ocean world remains hidden, obscured by the endless fog and the relentless churning of the waves.
Watch closely as the waves lift in sequence. This is how energy truly moves across the vast, open ocean, uninterrupted.
As the spray clears, the immense breadth of the Drake Passage is revealed. A world swallowed by the sea. Standing here, you understand the true meaning of isolation. The sea is absolute, and we are merely guests in its domain. As the land disappears behind the mist, we turn south. Now, there is only the sea, and the realization that we are truly alone. As we move south, away from the land, the sea grows colder, rougher, and more commanding with every passing moment.
We leave the steep ridges behind as the crossing moves from geography into the raw power of the weather-driven ocean.
We leave the shelter of the continent now, entering the infamous Drake Passage. Here, the Southern Ocean winds.
Here, at the edge of the world, the Southern Ocean unleashes its full power. This is the infamous Drake Passage.
Here, at the convergence of the Atlantic and Pacific, lies the infamous Drake Passage, a place where the ocean swells run unimpeded around the globe.
With Cape Horn behind us, the wind pulls the sea into motion, a natural bridge toward the atmospheric engine ahead.
These waves, bending under the immense pressure of the wind, carry an energy that travels across the vast expanse of the open sea. With Cape Horn now gone, the sea becomes the only landscape, the only road, and the only danger between us and Antarctica. As the clouds race overhead, the immense power of the Southern Ocean winds begins to organize the sea into massive, unstoppable rows. Without land masses to slow them, the westerly winds howl across the open water, turning this passage into Earth's most violent and unpredictable marine corridor.
Now fully exposed to the Southern Ocean, the westerly winds begin their relentless assault on the Drake Passage.
This is the Drake Passage, where the Atlantic and Pacific converge in a violent clash of wind and water. As we rise, the true force of the westerly winds becomes visible. Long lines of foam sweep across the water. The relentless wind writes across the ocean's surface, etching temporary patterns into the rolling waves before they vanish into the deep blue. Here, in the unforgiving Drake Passage, the atmosphere and the ocean move as one powerful, interconnected machine. The sea carries energy from distant storms, and each wave feels like a message traveling across thousands of kilometers of Southern Ocean water. With thousands of miles of open water, the Southern Ocean builds immense power, culminating in these towering walls of water. Far from any shore, the westerly winds sweep across the open ocean, unimpeded. It is this vast...
In the Drake Passage, the atmosphere presses its rhythm directly into the water, synchronizing the sky and the sea in a powerful, relentless surge.
As the storm intensifies, a powerful gust of wind rips across the water, turning the ocean surface into a blinding sheet of silver spray and foam. The wind rips water from the crest as the massive wall of the ocean roars forward, an ancient and primal force unleashed. A force larger than any single storm pulls at the sea, revealing the deep troughs beneath the churning foam. The sea looks chaotic at first, but the wind reveals a hidden order in the direction of crests, spray, and foam lines. Here, where the water ends and the atmosphere begins, the horizon dissolves into a single gray boundary. Here, the westerly winds command the sea, reminding even the sturdiest vessels of nature's dominion. The ship departs, and the relentless wind-driven spray sweeps across the surface, allowing the sea to reclaim its untouched, powerful... The Drake Passage is infamous for its massive seas. Driven by the relentless westerly winds, these waves form endless ridges of raw, moving energy.
Driven by the relentless circumpolar winds, the ocean surface is pulled eastward, a massive conveyor of energy linking these waves to the icy continent beyond.
Here, the wind is not just a presence, it is the undisputed master, whipping the waves into a frenzy. Navigating the Drake Passage means facing some of the most treacherous waters on Earth, where waves emerge suddenly from the gray mist. Below the chaos of the storm layer lies the Drake Passage, where wind systems larger than continents shape the sea into these endless bands of power. Driven by winds that began far beyond this place, the swells carry that memory north, entering the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage. As the storm intensifies, these colossal swells become mountains of water, revealing the true depth and fury of the Southern Ocean. The Drake Passage is known for its treacherous waters. Here, multiple wave directions collide, creating an unstable, churning sea. Here in the Southern Ocean, the sea appears violent. But every motion is connected to the wind, distance, and immense pressure.
The ocean is a vast, complex system, driven by the atmosphere above it. Wind energy transfers to the water, powering the massive currents we see.
As the gale intensifies, the crests are peeled away, strips of water racing across the surface like smoke. Here, at the Drake Passage, the powerful westerly winds sweep across the open marine corridor, driving the waves relentlessly eastward. With no land to block the storm, the wind imparts its energy directly into the sea. The waves grow longer and steeper, organizing in south of Cape Horn. The infamous roaring 40s and furious 50s unleash their full force across the unbroken expanse of the Southern Ocean. Here, in the notorious Drake Passage, the ocean moves not as individual waves, but as a single, enormous surface under the command of the wind. The ocean moves under atmospheric command. Following the foam scars twisting over dark water, subtle spiral motions reveal.
The sea below answers with ripples, swells, spray, and troughs, turning the Drake Passage into a visible conversation between air and water.
Observe how quickly a strong gust can reshape the open water, turning dark, rolling ridges into a chaotic expanse of bright foam. The wind's immense power literally shaves the tops from the waves, transforming the ocean surface into a violent spray. The ocean carries the memory of wind across its surface, each swell recording pressure, distance, storm history, and the wind's memory is etched into the very fabric of the sea. Here, in the immense Southern Ocean, westerly winds, the transparent currents, invisible to the naked eye, are the silent architects of the waves beneath the storm's fury.
Here, in the infamous Drake Passage, atmospheric forces collide. This swirling vortex of pressure presses down, transforming the sea into a cauldron of violent waves.
Driven by the relentless wind, the surface waters begin their eastward march, fueling the great current below. In this stormy corridor, the ocean reveals its true, untamed energy, constantly reshaped by the relentless westerly winds. Here, in the Drake Passage, the wind-shaped waves begin to synchronize, revealing the immense power of a deeper planetary circulation. Driven by the relentless wind, the sea exerts its raw power. We push onward toward the pale, ethereal glow of the...
Driven by the relentless westerly winds, the Antarctic storm gathers strength, turning the ocean surface into a chaotic landscape of rising waves and sideways spray.
While the wind tears at the surface, deep beneath the churning waves, a far larger, ancient power begins to rise. Below the storm-tossed waves lies a world unseen, where the ocean's deepest secrets flow in powerful, hidden currents. Here, at the surface, the storm rages, but beneath the churning foam, an ancient power stirs, waiting to be revealed. The camera plunges into the crushing darkness, where these colossal structures have stood undisturbed for millennia. Stabilized beneath the churning surface, the deep water of the Drake Passage moves with a slower, more powerful rhythm, far from the sun's reach. The Drake Passage Sea is not only waves, but a layered ocean system moving beneath the storm. Beneath the Drake Passage, the greatest ocean current on Earth begins its endless journey around the pole. The ocean. A river without banks, wide and powerful, flowing silently beneath the violent surface.
Here in the Drake Passage, the wind whips the surface layers into a turbulent frenzy, while far deeper, the massive currents move steadily onward.
The Drake Passage, a place where the vast Southern Ocean is sculpted by unseen forces, creating rivers within the sea itself. From this depth, we see the raw power of the Drake Passage. The wind-driven waves connect directly to the massive Antarctic circumpolar current flowing beneath.
Here in the Drake Passage, different current layers slide past one another, carrying an immense, hidden force through the ocean depths.
The Antarctic circumpolar current is not a single smooth line, but a living field of motion, creating massive underwater eddies that shape the global climate.
The Drake Passage reveals the ocean's hidden architecture. As the eddy stretches, the water organizes itself into powerful moving zones.
While the surface rages in chaos, down here, the deep, continuous circulation moves with undisturbed power. Stretching across the Drake Passage, these immense current ribbons are the ocean's invisible highways, moving heat, salt, and nutrients on a planetary scale. Here, in the violent waters of the Drake Passage, invisible highways carry the foundation of marine life. Following the current deeper, the light begins to fade. Below the surface storm, the Antarctic circumpolar current reveals itself as a vast...
Here, in the tumultuous waters of the Drake Passage, the ocean is a single vertical world. From the deepest currents to the wind-whipped surface, everything moves together.
The Drake Passage connects the Atlantic and Pacific, funneling an unimaginable volume of water, creating the most powerful current on Earth. Squeezing between South America and Antarctica, the Drake Passage acts as a narrow gate, funneling the immense power of the planetary current.
As the current accelerates through this narrow passage, the water particles stream faster, compressed by the geography, yet the visible space remains vast.
But as the current accelerates, following the deep shadowed slope far below, the immense pressure begins to bend the flow, disturbing the smooth ocean layers.
In the open water column, the true scale of the Antarctic circumpolar current is revealed. Layers of cold water move past each other.
As the camera moves through this seafront, we see how the current acts as a soft, invisible wall, connecting and separating ocean worlds.
Here, in the tumultuous Drake Passage, the wind-driven waves on the surface are inextricably linked to the deep powers.
The camera descends deeper now, revealing the hidden circulation of the ocean. These vast currents move relentlessly from west to east.
Here, in the depths of the Drake Passage, layers of water slide past one another, carrying an immense, unseen force.
Changes. What begins as a localized eddy soon stretches into a powerful current front. Here, in the Drake Passage, the sea organizes it. The ocean reveals two distinct realities. Above, chaos reigns in the storm-tossed waves. But
these immense current ribbons pass through the Drake Passage like invisible highways, moving water, heat, salt, and nutrients across the Southern Ocean. Flowing through the Drake Passage, these invisible highways carry the very foundation of marine life across the violent sea.
As we descend deeper, the surface storm fades, revealing the true power of the Antarctic circumpolar current. A vast, silent force moving through the...
Here in the Drake Passage, the ocean is a vertical world. From the deep currents to the surface winds, everything moves together. Every second, a volume of water riven by the Drake Passage dwarfs all the rivers on Earth combined, a silent, powerful force shaping the globe. An immense volume of water is squeezed through this narrow gate, a planetary current accelerating through the Drake Passage with unimaginable force.
This is the planetary current gate, a massive convergence of water. Plunging beneath the waves, the current accelerates through the passage, compressed by the geography of the deep. Driven by forces unseen, the current accelerates, bending as it encounters the abyssal slope far below, disturbing the tranquil layers of the deep ocean.
Here, the powerful flow of the sea curves and folds, influenced by the shadowed architecture of the ocean floor, revealing the next chapter of this deep journey.
The Antarctic circumpolar current feels endless. It is constantly carrying the planet's water around the frozen south.
The seafront acts as an invisible wall, a dynamic boundary where different worlds converge, yet remain forever distinct in the vast ocean currents.
Within the turbulent waters of the Drake Passage, powerful currents gather tiny particles, concentrating the life-supporting materials that feed this vast marine ecosystem.
Though the storm flickers violently above, casting shadows and light, the deep current below continues its calm, unstoppable persistence.
These powerful currents, stretching beyond the frame, make this passage feel like the throat of a vast global circulation system.
Even here, in the cold depths of the Drake Passage, the violent sea creates highways of current, transporting the foundation of all marine life.
Following the current into a darker zone, the ocean pressure grows heavier. The Antarctic circumpolar current is a vast, silent force beneath the surface storm. Emerging from the crushing darkness of the pressure zone, the Drake Passage reveals its vertical nature. Here, the deep currents merge with the distant pull of surface winds. Every second, an unimaginable volume of water surges through the Drake Passage, connecting the great oceans. Here, between South America and Antarctica, the Drake Passage acts as a narrow gate for the immense planetary current. Here, the planetary current accelerates, a massive river of water compressed by the geography of the seafloor. Here, the accelerating current plunges deeper,
disturbed and bent by the immense, shadowed slopes of the seafloor far below. As the current ribbons deform over the shadowed terrain, the flow curves and folds, hinting at the hidden architecture that will shape the next chapter of the deep. The Antarctic circumpolar current is a force unlike any other. It constantly carries the planet's water around shelters. The current acts as both architect and boundary, where blue cold water meets greener, nutrient-rich streams. The relentless currents of the Drake Passage concentrate life-supporting material along the boundary, showing how even violent waters sustain these ecosystems. Sunlight struggles to pierce the turbulent surface, but the deep ocean currents flow onward, undisturbed by the chaos above. Deeper now, into the Drake Passage. This vast underwater current acts as the throat of a global circulation system. As the deep currents wrap around Antarctica, they accelerate, squeezing through the Drake Passage and continuing their journey northward, driving the planet's climate. As the visualization fades, we enter the Drake Passage, where the Antarctic current flows unimpeded. The deeper we descend beneath the Drake Passage, the heavier the pressure, yet the Antarctic circumpolar current surges onward. The deep ocean currents, vast and powerful, begin to shift. They twist around unseen terrain, foreshadowing the hidden ridges and basins far below. The deep ocean is never still. Here, the currents bend and twist, forming powerful vortices that shape the underwater landscape.
The sea appears simultaneously chaotic and organized as the eddies stretch and break apart. Eventually, the steady eastward.
As we ascend, the true complexity of the Drake Passage reveals itself. Beneath the raging storm, the deeper currents flow.
Here, between the surface turbulence and the deeper currents, lies the true nature of the Drake Passage, a powerful gateway in the world ocean.
Here, the ocean is a moving archive. A vast repository of temperature, salt, carbon and energy flowing around the Antarctic continent.
Here, in the depths of the Drake Passage, the strongest forces move silently. An immense current carrying particles through the dark water.
While the storm rages on the surface far above, the Antarctic circumpolar current holds its steady, immense path through the dark ocean depths. Below the waves, the silent power of the depths. The immense currents of the Drake Passage begin to reveal the contours of the hidden seafloor far below. Even here, in the crushing dark of the deep ocean, hidden mountains rise, steering the powerful flow of planetary water.
The ocean floor is far from empty. It is architectural, a realm of hidden walls beneath the violent surface. As the circulation tightens into faster streams, the focus shifts to the shape of the seafloor. Here, the true power.
The seafloor beneath Drake Passage is not passive, but actively reshapes the current. The ocean flow compresses as it climbs the submerged rise, accelerating dramatically before spilling into the darker waters of the abyss beyond.
Here in the Drake Passage, the Antarctic circumpolar current surges eastward, its path visibly altered by the wind above and the submerged landscape.
As we rise from the hidden currents below, the true violence of the Drake Passage reveals itself on the surface.
The Antarctic circumpolar current, an immense river of seawater driven by powerful winds, now dives towards the abyss.
We descend into the Drake Passage. Below the stormy surface, the Antarctic circumpolar current rages. Below the stormy surface lies the true power of the Antarctic circumpolar current, a massive force hiding ancient structures beneath the waves.
The descent continues toward the hidden seafloor. In the Drake Passage, the ocean floor silently steers the flow around this dark underwater wall. Here, in the crushing depths of the Drake Passage, the coldest water accelerates, transforming the seafloor into an alien landscape of submerged peaks. Descending into the basin, the powerful current slows, and the underwater valleys reshape the immense force of the sea into vast, rotating eddies.
Here in the Drake Passage, beneath the violent waves, the rotating basin eddy begins to stretch. It transforms into a long blue
mix. As we descend deeper, the true architecture of the abyss is revealed. Invisible walls carved into the seabed funnel the powerful.
The camera glides into the narrow channel, and the current accelerates, a planetary river forced through hidden gates deep within the Drake Passage. The camera watches as current ribbons bend sharply around this deep fracture zone. The seafloor proves that the chaos above has structure far below the surface. In the Drake Passage, the sea reveals itself as a deep mechanical system, where water, stone, pressure, and rotation work in powerful unison.
As we ascend from the depths of the Drake Passage, the distinct boundaries between water masses become visible.
driven by unseen forces.
As the currents bend over the seafloor ridge, the resulting turbulence creates a gathering point. Along this front, tiny particles and nascent marine
Carried by the current through the Drake Passage, this cloud of life transforms hidden turbulence into a quiet foundation for everything that follows.
As we ascend, the currents intensify, revealing how motion gathers life in these invisible corridors of the sea.
The Drake Passage current dictates all movement here. These resilient cold-water fish yield to its relentless power, moving swiftly as one with the flow.
The Drake Passage. Though the surface rages violently above, here in the depths, the powerful current carries food. Above the churning chaos of the waves, the albatross rides the gale, connecting the turbulent sea to the stormy sky. Here, in the roaring 40s, the albatross rides the breath of the storm, its wings locked against the violence of the great Southern Ocean. For the albatross, the sea is both danger and pathway, a turbulent world where survival is shaped by the wind's relentless force. Soaring over the immense swells of the Drake Passage, the albatross reads the air currents, an invisible road above the churning ocean. Relying entirely on the wind, the albatross banks sharply. The ocean surface below traces its path in white foam, a testament to its mass. Here, amidst the endless swells of the Drake Passage, survival depends on motion, not resistance.
The albatross dips low, braving the spray of the cresting wave. For a moment, it is lost to the mist, only to emerge stronger than before.
The Drake Passage shows no mercy, yet the albatross moves with an effortless grace perfectly adapted to this violent world. But the calm flight is merely a prelude. Ahead, the ocean's true power stirs, drawing life from the depths. The currents here connect the hunters above to the microscopic life beneath the waves, a vital food pathway.
The sea current quietly carries the base of the food web beneath the surface, a stream of life sustaining the inhabitants of this cold, blue expanse.
The strong currents bend over the distant seafloor ridge, pulling particles into long glowing trails, illustrating the profound.
The sea behaves like wind over mountains, but here the mountains are hidden beneath the Drake Passage water. What begins as unseen turbulence far below culminates here, in the violent chaos of the surface storm. This is the Drake Passage, a place of immense power. The cold currents dominate, but deep beneath the swells, life persists. In the unforgiving waters of the Drake Passage, even the largest leviathan is quickly swallowed by the storm. As the whale disappears into the depths, the surface turbulence slowly yields to the relentless forces of wind and current. The Drake Passage is violent, yet undeniably alive, a testament to the raw power of the Southern Ocean. Where the currents collide, a hidden bounty is brought to the surface. These upwellings drive the ocean's most vibrant ecosystems. Beneath the storm front, the Drake Passage current begins its powerful flow. Stirring the sediment along the seafloor, it carries a plume.
Deep within the blue abyss, powerful currents stir the seabed. This turbulence, seemingly chaotic, unlocks a cascade of biological.
In the Drake Passage, powerful currents churn the depths, carrying nutrients from the seafloor to the surface, fueling a vast biological opportunity.
Beneath the waves, immense forces are unleashed. These deep currents carry vital energy upward, towards the turbulent surface.
Above the heavy swell, the camera emerges into the cold wind. Here, the albatross reads the invisible shape. In the heart of the Southern Ocean, the albatross harnesses the storm's energy, transforming this battlefield into a living environment. The Drake Passage, a place where life survives not by conquering the ocean, but by moving with its immense forces. The same powerful forces that shape the life within these waters will soon carry the immense icebergs of Antarctica north, altering everything in their path. Here, in the tumultuous waters of the Drake Passage, the powerful currents signal a dramatic shift towards the icy frontiers of the south.
Types. But through the churning mist and violent swells, something emerges on the horizon, a shape unlike water or cloud. Signals.
As the great ice sheets meet the warming ocean, they release ancient bubbles of air, trapped for millennia. The camera follows the faint freshwater ribbons as they mix into the darker seawater. Here, the ocean layers bend. From the silent depths, we rise through the mixing waters to witness the ocean's raw power as it sculpts the ancient ice.
The Drake Passage, a crucible of storms, now carries these fragments of Antarctica out into the wider world, a journey fueled by the powerful Southern Ocean currents. Driven by the relentless power of the waves, these fragments begin their journey, evidence of the ocean's transformative force on the ancient ice. Here, at the edge of the world, massive icebergs begin their long, arduous journey north, battling the ferocious power of the Southern Ocean. Here, the raw power of the polar sea is unleashed, a dramatic display of nature's relentless force against the ancient ice. Turning seaward, the icebergs recede into the mist. This is where the frozen realm meets the turbulent, living waters. In the relentless churn of the Southern Ocean, even the most colossal ice formations are fleeting. The water is eternal.
Beyond the frozen gateway lies the Weddell Sea, an unbroken expanse, stretching toward the Antarctic Peninsula.
Here, in the Drake Passage, the relentless Antarctic circumpolar current pulls the ice fragments eastward, a hidden force beneath the waves. Here, beneath the surface, the sea moves both ice and water through the same planetary pathway. Here, the ancient ice surrenders its form. The cold freshwater descends, a memory merging with the deep, shaping the currents of tomorrow.
This is where temperature, salt, and ice converge. A visible climate space formed by the meeting of distinct ocean currents and freshwater plumes.
Driven by powerful winds, the Antarctic circumpolar current relentlessly circles the frozen continent, accelerating as it is forced through the gauntlet of the Drake Passage.
The abstract visualizations give way to the raw power of the ocean. Here, where warm and cold waters collide.
The storm rages, yet life persists even here. And amidst the chaos, this small buoy measures the ocean's violent power. Monitoring the relentless movement of the Drake Passage, this silent sentinel measures the vital statistics: temperature, salinity, current, and pressure.
While the surface rages, the true symphony of the deep remains hidden. Here, science listens passively to the ocean's uncontrolled voice
as the instrument recedes, the true observatory reveals itself. The Drake Passage carries secrets through its layers. The data reveals a stark reality. Deep currents are accelerating, linking the silent depths to the increasing violence of the sea.
Here, beneath the waves, we witness the raw power of the Drake Passage, a crucible where atmosphere, ocean, and ice collide.
As the atmosphere meets the ocean and the ice, the relentless waves continue to carve its base, slowly reshaping this fragment of the frozen continent.
A powerful yet subtle shift. The meltwater drips from the ancient blue ice, joining the vast global circulation. As the wind strengthens, the sea becomes a violent force. Waves crash against the ice, a stark reminder of the raw. From this sweeping view, the immense power of the ocean currents becomes clear, relentlessly moving ice, heat, and vital elements through the Drake Passage.
Every visible wave belongs to a larger circulation pattern, moving far beyond the Drake Passage.
Down here, beneath the churn of the surface, the ocean currents move silently, carrying with them the clearest signals of our changing climate. The Drake Passage, where the immense physical power of the ocean converges with life, signaling profound planetary change. Rising from the depths, we witness the relentless power of the current. The ocean carries this fragment of ancient ice. Even the ice, once part of a towering glacier, now drifts aimlessly in the vast, cold expanse. The albatross navigates the Drake Passage, a crucible where wind, ice, and sea converge in this untamed ocean.
This is the Drake Passage, a place where the immense power of the ocean dwarfs even the largest mountains of ice, reminding us of nature's overwhelming scale.
As the storm finally relents, the ocean begins its slow, rhythmic breathing once more. Here, in the Drake Passage, the Earth's motion is laid bare. The storm may soften, but the camera descends toward the restless sea. Here, the ocean remains ancient and unfinished, a corridor for the relentless currents of wind. The journey south reveals the immense power of the Antarctic, a vast reservoir of ice and cold water influencing every ocean on Earth. Turning north from the Antarctic glow, we enter the Drake Passage, a place defined by the immense scale of the pure ocean and the raw power of the wind. The journey north reveals the true scale of the oceanic realm, where every force, from the deep currents to the high winds, the Southern Ocean is a place of raw power, beautiful in its terror, indifferent to those who cross its path. Here, the waves roll endlessly into the mist,
carrying the memory of the wind, the hidden currents, and the cold breath of Antarctica.
Here, in the dark sea, the last iceberg drifts slowly. The memory of Antarctica carried on it.
This is the Drake Passage, a place where the true power of the ocean is felt. No map between Cape Horn and the frozen continent, the Drake Passage reveals its true power, an untamable force where sky and sea merge. The Drake Passage, a fitting end to our journey, reminding us that this world remains wild, powerful, and utterly beyond our control.